Garbage. It's something everyone is more than familiar with. Wasteful society, taking more than they give. This is the reality of Gachiakuta's world, at least for the rich. The city, split between two drastically different social classes. The world is separated between the haves and the have-nots. Anyone found in contempt against the social hierarchy is thrown into the pit, an inconceivable abyss where all of the city's trash goes, as well as its criminals. After being falsely accused of murder, our main character Rudo is condemned to death and cast down into that abyss. And on his way down, Rudo curses every single man, woman, and child who continues to allow this vile act to happen so casually, finding that the elites who care more about people not having what they have are all the more filthy than even the beasts made of actual trash in the pits below. Gachiakuta is a once-in-a-lifetime shonen tale published in Kodansha magazine alongside great stories like Blue Lock. And with its anime adaptation finally out for the world to see, I think it's safe to say you would be missing out to not hop on this bandwagon immediately. What separates Gachiakuta from your average shonen mold is its ability to weave together a fun narrative that isn't afraid to take its time, unlike most manga that becomes popular nowadays. In a world of fast-paced, high-action combat with little to no time to breathe between character interactions, Gachiakuta tends to be much more willing to let its world exploration take a lot longer, allowing us to get a larger grasp for Gachiakuta's side characters, its plot lines, and world building. But most importantly, how fun and exciting the story can be, whether it's firing on all cylinders or in downtime. In Gachiakuta, the different factions and characters that inhabit this underworld of its dumpster-diving cities and trash-filled no-man's lands are able to fight and protect themselves using objects called vital instruments, fitting with the tone of Gachiakuta's world compared to the squeaky clean, pure white scenery of the upper-class town we see Rudo stealing garbage from. The people in the slums, and especially the pit, are surrounded by trash. However, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and by taking care of and valuing a specific object for an obscene amount of time, someone is able to fully unlock that object's innate power, called givers. These humans have a special talent to bring out this innate power from objects that they find emotionally valuable to them, being able to imbue those thoughts and feelings into this one object and transform it into what their heart truly desires. Because this vital instrument is unique to every person and what they themselves find important, they can take multiple different shapes and forms. There isn't any additional criteria other than someone being able to take care of and find value in a quote-unquote treasure. And since the only barrier to entry is the innate potential of becoming a giver in the first place, even bad people are just as likely to abuse this power, just as much as the good people, like the cleaners, utilize vital instruments for good. This makes for very interesting character dynamics across all of the series, as its roster becomes extremely diverse, in more ways than one, full of different personalities, as well as insane powers, abilities, and experience, making for extremely high-stakes back-and-forth battles, as well as super fun to read and now watch fight choreography. Since Gachiakuta gives the audience time to really get to know most, if not all, of its side characters on a deeply intimate level, it becomes insanely difficult to not appreciate how all of them interact in these fight scenes. Not only are the side characters great, but Gachiakuta is also full of exciting challenges for the protagonist to go up against, as the world of the pit has multiple different factions residing within this trash-riddled world, all vying for supremacy over this large wasteland. The cleaners, the main group of characters that we'll be following over the course of the series, are responsible for cleaning up the dangerous trash beasts that attack the innocent civilian towns. And since this is a spoiler-free review, that's all I'll say, but just know the cleaners aren't exactly clean themselves, if you get what I mean. There are plenty of existing counter-organizations though, specifically the Raiders, full of enemy givers who are more than willing to use the powers their treasures gave them for evil deeds, such as one of the series' most popular villains, Jabber, who, without going into much detail, I'm sure will remind plenty of people of that exact feeling they got first watching Mahito torment Yuji. He is the perfect rival and foil to the main protagonist, who I want to finish off this call to action video talking about. Rudo is part of the reason Gachiakuta is so great. At first, because of Kei Orana, the mangaka's obvious influences, being an assistant for works like Soul Eater and Fire Force, one might think Rudo appears at first first like a generic shonen protagonist. But I think what makes Rudo stand out above all else is his willingness to stand for and outright reject the ideals that society tries to force on him. Even before being falsely accused of murder, Rudo is willing to risk his life just for rummaging through the rich society's trash for objects of value that he can fix up and recycle. Living amongst such inequality, Rudo is able to treasure objects and see use for items that others might not have even given a second look, having the natural inclination and reasoning of a giver, despite growing up in a world where the concept didn't even exist. And after being blessed with power, Rudo never once changes who he is. Rudo gains power not from believing in himself, but from finding reasons to exist in the others around him and pushing on because of that, rejecting the ideals or philosophies that hurt others or seek to put them down, no matter who it comes from. We see Rudo struggle with who he is, watch him both fail and succeed, question himself time and time again, yet every single one of those times, there's someone by Rudo's side to show him the way. And rest assured, Rudo earns all of his growth and victories on his own, and is completely separate from allowing others to merely do his dirty work for him. Rudo exists as a sponge, learning and growing from every major story arc and battle he encounters by becoming more noble and more capable every time. Rudo's spirit and willingness to challenge what society is, refusing to accept what the world is now, and instead seeking to make society what he believes it should be. That alone is more than enough reason to give Gachiakuta a shot. Tune in to the Gachiakuta anime, and when it's over, enjoy the amazing artwork of its mangaka and graffiti artist. I promise you, if you felt like shonen anime was missing some sauce lately, look no further. I found it for you. This video is sponsored by GamerSupps, the ultimate energy and focus formula. Like most of you, I get tired right around 3 p.m. And after a long day's work, when I want to kick back and play some video games, I can just never find the energy. But to be honest, before they even approached me to be a sponsor, I used GamerSupps to fix that issue. GamerSupps is an awesome drink made up of a bunch of vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin D3, B6, B12, and vitamin H. All super good for you and your health. So it's not one of those awful sugar-filled concoctions that's gonna make you crash after drinking it. And it's got caffeine and things like nootropics to help you stay focused, stay energized, and in the game. Listen, I could never stand energy drinks myself, and coffee, to me personally, tastes like sewer water. But GamerSupps has so many awesome flavors and some really funny and cool designs. Personally, I've been drinking BBLGG lately, really good, tasty blueberry flavor, but I also enjoy some JFJ snake oil for that apple cider taste. Use the link in the description or pinned comment and use code NOOP for 10% off your next order of GamerSupps. If you're still skeptical about it, go check out the link and use my code anyway. They are more than willing to send you some free samples and give you a chance to try their product for free. Use my code NOOP now for 10% off, and thank you GamerSupps for sponsoring the channel.